The salary adjustment email lands at 9:12 in the morning, and for about 6 minutes your life feels more reasonable. Not glamorous, not yacht money, just reasonable. Like breathing might get easier. Like the checking account might stop looking like it's always recovering from a minor injury. Then, the sequence starts. You open apartment listings you used to talk yourself out of. You glance at car prices just to see. The grocery cart upgrades without you naming it. You stop doing that little mental math before tapping the delivery app. A trip that felt irresponsible last month suddenly feels earned. Nothing looks insane on its own. That's why it works. You don't feel reckless, you feel upgraded. And a few pay cycles later, the raise is gone without ever looking gone. It dissolved into a better version of normal. So do one useful thing before you blame inflation, bad luck, or rising costs. Take the after-tax amount of your raise and split it on purpose before your life touches it. Half goes to savings, investing, or debt. Half goes to lifestyle, guilt-free. Not all, not none, half. If your raise after tax is $400 a month, you capture $200 automatically and you enjoy $200 on purpose. That's it. It's not a spreadsheet religion, it's a leash you put on the drift. If you leave the whole raise sitting and checking, your life will assign jobs to it before you do, and your life has terrible hiring standards. Greek man would tell you a raise only matters if your habits don't swallow it first. Here's why this is so frustrating. Lifestyle creep rarely looks like arrogance, it looks like relief. You're not sitting there twirling a mustache thinking, now I shall ruin my progress with artisan coffee. You're reacting to a long stretch of restraint. The raise arrives, and your brain reads it less as extra money and more as permission. Permission to stop feeling behind. Permission to stop saying no. Permission to match the version of yourself you think your new salary should unlock. That's where people get fooled. They think the problem is spending. It usually starts one level deeper. Identity. A raise quietly updates your self-story. You start thinking, I'm not entry level anymore. I shouldn't still be living like this. I worked too hard to keep doing that. I can afford better now. And honestly, those thoughts sound reasonable. That's the danger. The spending feels like alignment, not a mistake. So the raise becomes a costume budget. The set gets upgraded to match the character. Now watch how it happens in real time. Payday hits. You see the deposit. You do that little internal nod. Okay, finally. Then your thumb starts solving discomforts you've been carrying for months. The couch you tolerated, replace it. The apartment you've been calling temporary, maybe not. The car you've been pretending isn't annoying, let's look. The groceries you've been white-knuckling, add the nicer stuff. The delivery app you used only when tired, become your default. None of it feels like a big decision because it's not framed like a big decision. It's framed like self-care, convenience, adulthood, and I deserve it. And the world is built to speed-run this drift. Apps, lenders, landlords, and subscriptions are basically sharks with push notifications, premium plans, only monthly payments, convenience framed as self-respect, financing framed as comfort, tiny recurring costs put on a clean shirt and call themselves quality of life. You're not weak for responding to that, you're human. But human gets expensive if you don't add friction. Lifestyle creep is usually drift, not luxury. 10 small upgrades you don't name become your new baseline, and the baseline is what eats raises. Here's the difference that matters. One-time hurts are visible. Recurring hurts are silent. A better apartment doesn't rise once, it rises every month. A newer car doesn't cost more once, it sends a payment into your future and invites insurance to join the party. More subscriptions don't cost you once, they show up when you're brushing your teeth, quietly renewing while you're living your life. Low drama is how money escapes. And there's a second layer that makes it stick: self-reward spending. Raises often arrive after stress, politics, burnout, or a stretch of feeling undervalued, so your brain says, good, we're done depriving ourselves. Smart people don't call it reward, they call it correction. They think they're restoring balance. What they're really doing is installing a more expensive normal. Then the normal becomes emotionally sticky. Cutting back starts feeling like personal decline, not like I'm optimizing, more like I'm going backwards. That's why earning more can still feel tight. Your income rose, but your definition of basic rose with it. So the fix isn't moral yelling, It's mechanical. Stop, open notes for 10 seconds. Write, capture, space, enjoy, space. That's your split. Capture is money your future keeps. Enjoy is money you're allowed to spend without guilt. Put actual numbers in, then automate capture the day after payday so it disappears before your brain starts shopping for identity. Rule 1. Decide your raise capture rate before you start just looking. 50% is a strong default. Even 30 works, if you're honest. Then automate it. Savings, investing, debt, whatever improves your position. The point is simple. The money must disappear from your everyday field of vision before your identity spends it. Rule 2. Make the most boring list in the world. Every expense that got better the last time your income got better. Not the big stuff only. Everything. Nicer grocery habits, more delivery, subscriptions, convenience upgrades, travel assumptions. The little stuff is the real eater. If you want a fast way to do this, pull up your last month of transactions and highlight anything that became more frequent or more expensive after the raise. You're not judging it. You're identifying where the raise is already hiding. Rule 3. Keep one area deliberately unimproved for a while. This is underrated. Maybe you keep the same car one more year. Maybe you don't move apartments this lease cycle. Maybe weekday food stays boring. You need one visible act of non-expansion, or your brain starts acting like every income increase must produce lifestyle evidence on schedule. And, let's be blunt, evidence is the whole problem. People don't just want to feel better, they want to see that they're doing better. They want the raise to show up in photos, in plans, in purchases, in a vibe, and money gets burned when every improvement has to become visible. Now, here's the punch that makes people mad. The raise didn't vanish. It got hired. It got hired to reduce discomfort. It got hired to protect identity. It got hired to buy convenience. It got hired to silence stress. Those are real jobs. They just don't build security unless you cap them. So, you cap them. One simple guardrail. For the first 90 days after a raise, you add no new recurring expenses without review. None. Not the upgraded phone plan, not the just $19.99 subscription, not the new monthly anything. Not because you're fragile, because recurring costs are the real colonizers. They don't ask permission next month. If you want a phrase that actually works, no new monthlies for 90 days. Put it on a sticky note. Make it dumb. Dumb rules survive tired brains, and if you break it, you don't spiral, you just reverse it. Cancel the new monthly. You can add it later if it still matters when your nervous system isn't drunk on the raise. Now, the relapse trap. It hits right when discipline starts feeling normal. You tell yourself, I've been responsible, I can loosen up. And the raise gets eaten in delayed chunks. A trip, furniture, a manageable payment, a couple of just this once convenience weeks. That's when you do the annoying but effective thing. You review, capture, and enjoy again, and you recommit to the split, because the split is what protects you from becoming the person who earns more but feels the same. Here's the right outcome of a race, and it's boring on purpose. Your cash reserve grows. Your credit card balance stops haunting the month after the month. Your stress spending loses power because you have margin. You buy back breathing room instead of buying nicer packaging. That's real progress, even though it photographs badly and nobody compliments you for it. If you want a better life, good, you should. The goal isn't permanent deprivation. The goal is to stop confusing immediate upgrade with actual relief. A raise should make your life stronger before it makes your life shinier. So take the raise, enjoy some of it, you're allowed, but make part of it untouchable, make one upgrade wait, and make your future visibly harder to mess with. Otherwise, you'll keep getting paid more for the privilege of feeling exactly the same.